Hello everyone, I'm here with the weekly message of the Divine Feminine to the Divine Masculine for the week of December 5 to 11. Now, I've already shuffled the cards and prayed over them, and as I was shuffling the cards, this fell out. Okay, the King of Swords, but in this deck this has a different meaning. And I feel that this is a message directly from Spirit to the Divine Feminine, okay? And this is saying that be careful of the consequences of your actions because you're going to have to live with it. Here, this is Oliver Cromwell, and he killed King Charles I. And while he was practically the King of England in everything but name, he had to live with the fact that he did kill someone, the king. That's regicide. You could make it into a crime. Okay, when you kill royalty. So that was a message to the Divine Feminine to be careful of your actions because they're going to have consequences which you're going to have to live with. Then at the bottom of the deck, as I shuffle this, we have the Eight of Cups. And again, I feel that this is also a message to the Divine Feminine. Okay? And this says, because the Eight of Cups in this deck, let me take that out. The Eight of Cups in this deck, it depicts a priest, and then there's a page, I guess, an assistant, I don't know what you call it. Someone who keeps following him, and he's supposed to be a learned master. He has all these scrolls, but there's something sinister, not quite right with this card, because you see there are clouds behind this child, and he's supposed to be like a member of the church, so you don't actually know what he's going to do with him. You know, if there's something malicious or malevolent that he's been planning. So this is a message to the Divine Feminines to be careful of whom you put your trust into. Okay. As I said, that's why I always advise to come into your knowing. Because following blindly a person, a teacher, a group, an institution, sometimes it's not for your highest good. That doesn't mean that they've got all the answers, or that whatever they say is set in stone like the Ten Commandments. So siphon it, filter it, find out what your truth is. Come into your own knowing. Okay? Because following blindly is never a good thing. So do this assessment when it comes to your groups, the people that you follow on YouTube, on whom you rely information from. And that would include even me. But then I have a disclaimer. I've been telling you from the beginning, all my videos tell you to come into your knowing. Because that's the way it should go. Okay? So anyway, it's a bit off tangent, but it's a message that needed to be said to the Divine Feminine. Now, what message does the Divine Feminine have for her beloved counterpart? The first card is the Eight of Wands, and we see this man with all his wands up in the air, and in his haste, he's tripping over the animals. Okay? Some of them are panthers, lions, and this is conveying to the divine masculine that she's getting really impatient. She's doing every little bit that she can to get to her destination. And at the same time, this is a card of advice to the divine feminine to not necessarily slow down, but the energy of this card is so harried. It's so, I really have to get going no matter what. It's like laser accurate, pinpointing where she is, and regardless of the other routes. Or that didn't make sense much, but I hope you know what I'm saying. And she's being cautioned to do things calmly, find calm, find peace, find serenity, so that she does her work in such a way wherein no mistakes are made. She doesn't need to backtrack on work that she thinks she's done but she hasn't done. So do it one at a time, so that you don't trip over these power animals that are even there to help you get to your destination. But at this point, some of you are so hurried to get to your destination that you're missing these messages, these people who are supposed to help you and assist you. Look, there's even a spirit horse there that, had you taken the time to see that it was in front of you, you could have ridden it and gotten to your destination faster. But no, you missed it. All you want to do is just go, 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 go. Okay, so there. Next card we have is the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords, this is a different interpretation of the Six of Swords from other decks, okay? Half of the swords are immersed in water. This traveler is passing through a cave. And this card, as a message to her divine masculine, she's telling him that she's getting kind of jaded by the journey. Why? Well, she's dropped some wands there because she's so hasty, and in her haste, things don't come together at the proper time. It's like when you're baking a cake and you take it out of the oven before it's cooked and you see it's soggy. It's not firm because you're in a hurry. It doesn't cook right. So anyway, as a message, she's telling the divine masculine that she's in a place where she's a bit jaded and quite cynical already. But as an advice, Spirit is telling her to access that part of her consciousness which, that part which believes that the impossible can happen. That part wherein you have trust and faith in the universe. So she's telling the divine masculine, hurry up, I'm losing faith. And here, as a message to her divine counterpart, The divine feminine is saying that she knows that she makes her own destiny. Because this fortune card in this deck, it doesn't really matter if it's reversed, if it's upright. The message is the same, that you create your own fortune. So she's barefoot there, and all these gold cards are around her. You see, she's on top of a hill, but it really doesn't matter where she goes. That circle of the cards of fortune, they follow her. So she's telling the divine masculine, you know what, this is coming as sort of a threat, but that's the energy I'm getting, that hurry up. I'm getting very impatient. I don't even know if you're coming around. Look, I may not be here when you get here because I have the power to make my own fortune. Wait, let's look at the other cards. And here, see, that's why this is coming, like sort of an ultimatum to the divine masculine. As a message, okay? As advice to the divine feminine. Well, that's what I'm telling you after the message. But as a message, this Ten of Swords, it comes off as an ultimatum, saying that this is not going to happen. I'm done. I'm finished. It's over. But as a message to the as advice to the divine feminine, it's also saying that rebuilding only comes after the ruin. So things have to be toppled over. They're going to hurt. Okay? Hold on. I'm getting multiple messages for this, but I'm going to explain later. And the last card for the divine feminine, as a message to the divine masculine, this is the Eight of Swords. And this, in this deck, she's cutting away everything, that she's kind of making some confetti there out of the roses. And this is saying to leave whatever he needs to leave behind. Okay, so there are several messages here. For the divine feminines who are in separation and who have been waiting for their divine masculines to come around, the message is hurry up. I'm getting jaded. I know I can make my own fortune, and look, this can end at any time because I have to cut away what keeps bringing me, what's making me sad, because she's tired. Okay? This is not for all the divine feminines, okay? So you have to listen closely and see if this resonates with you, if you're that divine feminine. But for the other divine feminines who are in karmic relationships and who have illumined divine masculines, her message to him would be inner haste to get things together. No. Her message would be that she's doing double time to get things together so that they can move to a better place and create their own fortunes together. And this has entailed a 180-degree turnaround from her. And it hurt. She's had to flip over her whole life. But something needed to fall away. So that's her message for those who are involved in relationships. I mean, the divine feminine. And wait. Okay, that's why this card, this was the special message for the divine feminine. Because you're kind of at a crossroads because you're jaded. This is only for some of you because I know there are a lot who are really who already are in union spiritually and are just waiting for manifestation, and they don't get affected by this energy of either you show up or I'm walking. That's the energy I'm getting here. That's why saying, Spirit is warning you. Be careful, you're going to live with that consequence. What consequences would those be? Well, if you're truly twin flames of each other, this contract has panned beyond lifetimes. Okay? And you're still going to have to get together at some point or the other. But because you took a detour, then that's just going to be delayed. Because you've gotten your energy at such a low state wherein this is not 5D energy, I'm telling you. If you're feeling that way, and I think that came out in my Twin Flame weekly reading this week also. So, if you're in that energy, that's not the energy of impending union. And I'm going to tell you that outright, simply because, number one, these messages are supposed to guide you and not to be your hug box on the internet, because this is what you want to hear. But no, this is a warning. That's where you're going, and you might regret it. Because you're supposed to be with him anyway. So, that's why you're also being guided to take care who you receive messages from, who you follow blindly. Okay? So, what is the challenge of the Divine Feminine this week? Here we have grief. It says, I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. So, this is the same when it comes to divine feminines who are leaving their karmic partner to go towards their twin flame. The challenge is the grief. Because of course, as the divine feminine, most of the time you're the one who's built the home, who's raised the family. And leaving that setup, that's a Ten of Swords moment. But you come to the realization that it needed to be done. Still, of course, there's grief. For those who are there, sort of issuing an ultimatum to their twin flames to hurry up, come and show up. Again, it's motivated and fueled by grief. So you're in that energy of loss, of lack. You know, dead flowers don't attract bees. You get what I'm saying? And that's why you're being cautioned that your actions are going to have consequences you're going to have to live with. Okay? So, what's the advice? Here, shine. Shine from inside. Access your happiness. If there's frustration here, for those who are frustrated, worried, making mistakes in their haste, shine. Look, if you already believe inside of you, not only believe, you're going to feel it. It's going to reverberate throughout your entire being, throughout your and it's going to spill into your interaction with other people. Excuse me. Then this one goes away. That energy dissipates and dissolves. Because it's such a lower vibrating energy that it cannot not dissolve in the face of this high vibrating energy. So access it from within. Union is here and you have to be happy for that. Not a fake, okay, I'm happy, but he's not here anyway. No, not that. It has to come from within. Find your joy, your security. All this cynicism, skepticism, throw it out the window. You know why? Because that is incongruent with this energy. And that's where you have to get. So, anyway, multiple messages for the Divine Feminine Collective, depending on their situation. I hope you got something out of it. And if you relate this one to my the weekly reading for Twin Flames this week, gosh, you'll see. You have really nothing to worry about. Okay? So get rid of that. Not helping. Anyway, reminding everyone that I'm running a Christmas special offer for a limited time only. Okay? So if you haven't gotten anything for your loved ones yet, consider giving them the gift of healing and the gift of guidance. It's precious. Okay? And it's something that that'll benefit them towards their ascension. Okay, that's what I have for you. Take care, you guys, and until next week, bye.